Imagine you are a devout Catholic from San Pablo Villa de Mitla in southern Mexico. For generations, your family has attended the only church in town, the Church of San Pablo. As a young child, you often attended Mass with your parents at this holy place. But one Sunday, you overhear a friendly family conversation by chance. They whisper to each other. They say that somewhere around the city, there was an entrance to the underworld. Not just one, but many. Hundreds of years ago, however, a group of missionaries sealed those gates forever and built a new place on top of them, thus forbidding anything that lived down there from ever coming out. To your shock, you learn that this place is the very church you are in. And one of the gates to the underworld is located under the altar you are currently looking at. That's exactly what happened at San Pablo Church in Mitla, Oaxaca, in southern Mexico. The legend of the church dates back at least 350 years. In 1674, the Dominican order historian Francisco de Bergoa wrote of an extensive network of labyrinths beneath Mitla. According to Bergoa, the Zapotec people, some of the original inhabitants of the region, believed the site was a gateway to the underworld. In his writings, Bergoa describes the site as a vast underground temple with 4 interconnected chambers in which the high priests and kings of Tezcatlipocan rest. In the last of these 4 chambers, there is a stone door that leads to a deep cave 30 leagues underground, which is almost 103 miles deep. This cave is traversed by a vast network of caves or perhaps man-made tunnels that look like some kind of underground streets. However, when the Spanish missionaries captured Mitla, they sealed off all the entrances to this vast underground city. This sounds like the plot of a science fiction movie, and certainly, many people thought that Bergoa might just be exaggerating. Even all of this may just be his own invention. However, local traditions also tell similar stories. Mitla is rumored to be connected to the underworld. In case you don't know, Mitla is an ancient place that was very important to the Zapotec in the old days. Mitla served as a religious center where the high priests lived, and the nobles were buried. Even when the Mixtec took control of the area, Mitla still held great importance for the locals. When the Spanish invaded in the 16th century and claimed the area as their own, they made great efforts not only to destroy the area but also to drive out the original inhabitants of the site. Not only that, but they also built a Catholic church in the old Zapotec place of worship for the natives who once lived there. Mitla sits on the threshold between this life and the next, making it the perfect place to hold death-related rituals. In fact, the name Mitla comes from the word Mictlan in the Nahuatl language, which stands for the Aztec underworld. Mictlan is ruled by the lord and mistress of the underworld, Mictlantecutli and Mecticaciguatl, respectively. In Aztec mythology, Mictlantecutli is a prominent but fearsome figure. One of his rituals involved cannibalism performed by people in and around the temple. However, whether he was actually worshipped in the temples that were once located in Mitla is still unclear. It is worth noting, however, that while the Aztec have some similarities to the Mixtec and Zapotec, all 3 are distinct groups with unique traditions. The Zapotec themselves had a name for the underground complex, Lyobaa. In the Zapotec language, Lyobaa means resting place, likely referring to the fact that it was the final resting place of many important figures. But it turns out that Lyobaa may be hiding many more secrets. When the group of missionaries descended into the labyrinth below Mitla, they didn't last long there. Francisco de Bergoa gives us more details about this historic moment, telling us the following: such was the corruption and bad smell, the dampness of the floor, and a cold wind which extinguished the lights that, at the little distance they had already penetrated, they resolved to come out and ordered this infernal gate to be thoroughly closed with masonry. According to local tradition, the underground labyrinth has several entrances. All of them are sealed to this day. The main altar of the church was built on top of one of these doors as if to preserve something inside. Despite the many accounts of various historical figures apart from that of Bergoa and the incessant rumors of the townspeople, Lyobaa remains just a tale. By 2022, the town of Lyobaa was a mere dream. Then, a team of researchers from the Mexican National Institute of History and Anthropology, INAH, the National Autonomous University of Mexico, UNAM, and the Association for Archaeological Research and Studies collaborated on a project that aimed to discover the truth about these legends. They call the project Project Lyobaa, and they have not been disappointed. In fact, their initial findings exceed their expectations. The team scanned the site using 3 geophysical methods, GPR, electrical resistivity tomography, and seismic noise tomography. Using the results and images collected from the intensive survey, the researchers were able to create an accurate model of what lies beneath a portion of Mitla's land. As an archaeological site, Mitla is divided into 5 groups: the southern group, Arroyo, Adobe, Colony, also known as the Palace, and the northern group, also known as the Church. In the latter is located the current Church of San Pablo. Researchers found that beneath the church group, there was an extensive network of interconnected chambers and tunnels. So, does this confirm that Lyobaa, as the legends say, really exists? The answer is yes. According to the survey, there is indeed a large yawning void just below the altar. Moreover, this cave space extends to the northwest and southwest. Even more interestingly, the researchers discovered that there is a geophysical anomaly just north of the church. What does this mean? It means that this particular area, whatever it contains or represents, differs significantly from the surrounding areas. An anomaly can mean anything from a natural underground formation to something man-made, perhaps an ancient burial chamber, a hidden crypt, or even a deeper tunnel system. However, the story doesn't end there. 2 east-west oriented passages between 5 and 8 meters, 16 and 26 feet, deep have been found to lead to the main cavity. If the researchers' suspicions are correct, the underground temple is not just an ordinary cruciform structure. There may be many more chambers and tunnels that cannot be accessed from above ground simply because the entrances to these places are not connected to the structures outside. In the meantime, the researchers also discovered what appears to be a stairway to a portico with 2 doors in the underground group of columns south of the group of churches. Furthermore, they believe that these structures may be older than the other underground ones, built around the 900s to 1200s, and perhaps earlier. Could this be another gateway to the elusive underground temple? No one knows until someone goes down there and opens the walled entrance to find out. Researchers could only make guesses. Fortunately, with the help of geophysical methods, those guesses are proving to be quite accurate. Geophysical methods help researchers map archaeological sites without disturbing or damaging historic structures. Nevertheless, the researchers are determined to continue their research at Mitla. They know they are only just beginning to learn Mitla's secrets. Whether the team or anyone else will actually enter the underground chamber in the foreseeable future is not yet known. This is due to the fact that it is important to preserve Mitla in the first place as one of the most important and unique archaeological sites in Mesoamerica. Deep underground spaces hold a unique place in people's beliefs, regardless of where we are in the world. They are a portal that lies between our known world and the great unknown. For many of our ancestors, death and uncertainty went hand in hand. Not surprisingly, many cultures believe that the realm of the afterlife is underground. The Zapotecs are not alone in this regard. For example, a number of caves and underground sites in Bolivia, Chile, Peru, and Ecuador were also thought to be gateways to the underworld. Tayos Cave in Ecuador, for example, is said to be connected to another realm. What makes the cave even more mysterious is that some parts of it appear to be man-made. One of the enduring legends about the cave is that in the 1960s, a Hungarian explorer named János Juan Moritz discovered a library full of books made of gold. Although this supposed golden library was never found again, it only fuels speculation that Tyos Cave is a legacy left by an ancient, unknown, and advanced civilization. Then there is Horvat Bergen in the Judean Shephelah, located in Adullam Park in Palestine. Horvat Bergen is believed to have been a Jewish village first settled during the First Temple period but reached its heyday during the Second Temple period. Nowadays, Horvat Bergen is famous for its ruins and extensive network of underground caves. Plautunyan, for example, which is located in Turkey, is remarkable as it is directly considered the entrance to the realm of the Roman god of the underworld, Pluto. Since ancient times, it has been considered a sanctuary dedicated to Pluto. An interesting fact is that the sacred place emits toxic gases. According to ancient stories, only the priests of Pluto could survive these deadly fumes. If you're not one of them, you might actually go to the underworld right away, literally. Lakes, volcanoes, and even mountains are also believed to hide entrances to the underworld. Mount Hekla, Iceland, for example, is thought by the Scandinavians and Icelanders to be the gateway to the realm of Hel, the goddess of the underworld. Back to Greco-Roman mythology, did you know that the Acheron, the river of sorrow in Greek mythology, is a real existing river in Epirus, Greece? One of the supposed reasons the ancient Greeks believed it was the river in which the sinister boatman Charon carried the dead to Hades was because it passed through dark gorges and numerous underground places. Speaking of entrances, Lake Avernus, where Aeneas' character went to enter the underworld, is also a very real place. There are even people who believe that the mythological Acheron and Lake Avernus may be connected. In the US, Devil's Cauldron, a beautiful but mysterious waterfall in Minnesota, has become notorious for its enigmatic watershed. The unique rock formation divides the water into two parts. One side falls through a cliff to the pool below, while the other simply disappears into a hole in the rock. For many years, this has puzzled and downright frightened people, leading many to believe that the Devil's Cauldron may be an entrance to hell itself, hence its name. According to recent studies, however, the water that seemingly disappears simply returns to the river through the groundwater. However, perhaps the largest example of an underground civilization is Derinkuyu in Turkey. It is an underground city of incredible size and depth, located in the province of Nevşehir. It is a huge underground complex that can hold up to 20,000 people. The city was filled with rooms, stables, and apartments, even including chapels and tombs, as well as a security system never seen before. Even more shocking, Derinkuyu is just one of 200 underground complexes in Cappadocia, Turkey. Yes, you heard right, this huge underground megalopolis is just one of the many and probably as yet undiscovered underground complexes in the area. But you can learn more about this story in the video